Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. So the lead-in question today is, are Nigerians more successful than Black Americans? Every few months, the internet dusts off the same debate. Are Nigerians more successful than Black Americans? And every time, the conversation gets loud, emotional, and completely disconnected from the actual data. So today, we're going to talk about what the numbers really say without disrespect, without stereotypes, and without the internet's habit of comparing two groups who aren't even structured the same. We are not structured the same, and I think that we have to start with that. First, let's clear up the biggest misconception. You cannot compare Nigerian immigrants to Black Americans as if they're two equal random samples. Black Americans are a full population, 40 million plus people across every income level, every education level, and every background. Nigerian immigrants, on the other hand, are a highly filtered elite subgroup. They are the Nigerians who had the money, the education, the English fluency, and resources to leave their home country and navigate the United States immigration system. That's not Nigerians as a whole. That's the top slice of Nigerians. And we've heard this discussion before. So when people say Nigerians are more successful than Black Americans, they're talking about the top tier, and that's a small number of top tier Nigerians who already have money, education, English fluency, and resources, usually family already here in the United States to help them get established. We are not talking about the whole of the Nigerian people. Now let's talk numbers. When you look at median household income, Black Americans as a group earn more than African immigrants as a group, including Nigerians. Some Nigerian subgroups earn higher incomes, but that's because the United States immigration system selects for people with degrees, STEM backgrounds, and financial stability. If America only allowed the top 5% of Black Americans to immigrate somewhere, they would look like a super elite group too. Now, here is where we get into the damage that's done to Africa. African countries, and Nigeria especially, face a major challenge called brain drain. It simply means that many of their most educated and skilled professionals leave to work abroad. They're not leaving because they lack talent or pride. They're leaving because the systems at home often don't give them the tools, stability, or resources they need to grow. Countries like the United States benefit from their movement because they gain trained doctors, nurses, engineers, and tech workers who help fill critical workforce gaps. So, brain drain weakens the systems in African countries while strengthening the systems in the countries that receive their talent. So that is why Nigerians come over here bragging, because all of them that could have left Nigeria after gaining the skills, the education, and the experience they need to export their talents abroad. And I just thought I would throw that in. Now, this is when that becomes problematic. Some African immigrants, and Nigerians in particular, compare themselves to poor or marginalized Black Americans, but that comparison doesn't reflect the reality of either group. African immigrants usually arrive in the United States through selective pathways that favor people who already have education, resources, and stability. Black Americans, on the other hand, represent a full population shaped by a very different historical experience. In other words, they are comparing a very small group of Nigerians or African immigrants to a very large group of Black Americans, and that's not ever a fair sampling. And importantly, these comparisons almost never made to successful Black Americans. The entrepreneurs, the scholars, the artists, the scientists, the doctors, the engineers, and the professionals who represent the majority of Black America's middle class. Instead, the comparison is usually directed at the most disadvantaged segment, which creates a distorted and unfair picture. And that's problematic for Black Americans because they want to take people who are the brain drain of their country and compare them to the people in our community who are marginalized, who may not have had the advantages and the opportunities that some of us have had. And that is a problem for many Black Americans. If you want to make a comparison with the people who can compete with you, not the people who may be suffering from some type of trauma or some other kind of problem that has them in a situation where they are not doing as well as someone else. Now let's add some context. If you compare Black Americans to African populations living in Africa, Black Americans outperform those countries on every measurable metric: income, life expectancy, literacy, education access, health care, political rights, and global cultural influence. That's not about superiority. That's about living in a wealthy, industrialized nation with institutions built over centuries. We've been here for over 400 years, and we've been productive for over 400 years. We have different histories, and different histories create different outcomes. We don't need to be comparing ourselves to each other. In a good world, we would be trying to help each other, but it's not possible when people just want to compare and compete. Let's look at the education myth. You've probably heard the claim Africans are the most educated group in America. They are the most selectively admitted group in America. The U.S. immigration system literally prioritizes advanced degrees, STEM fields, English proficiency, and financial stability. So the Africans who arrive here are not the average citizen of their home country. They're the people who already had access, resources, and opportunity. So, in order to get here, they have to be educated already, or they have to have test scores higher than everybody else's. So, that bar is set really high, and it's only a few of them that get here in the first place. Meanwhile, Black Americans have built something no other Black population on earth has. We've built the most influential Black culture globally, and I would say the most influential culture globally, the most successful Black middle class. Do not forget that. We have the most successful Black middle class, the most powerful Black political bloc, the most advanced Black institutions from HBCUs to civil rights organizations, and the most globally recognized Black artists, thinkers, and innovators. This is 400 plus years of building, surviving, and creating in a country that wasn't designed for us and still shaping the world. So, are African immigrants more successful than Black Americans? The real answer is that's the wrong question. African immigrants are often individually successful because they are a filtered elite group, but Black Americans are collectively successful because we've built institutions and progress over generations. Two truths can't exist at the same time. Without competition, without disrespect, and without the internet's need to turn everything into a hierarchy. In closing, I think I speak for many Black Americans when I say we don't want to have this competition with Black immigrants from Africa and the Caribbean. It is good if they can come to the United States and get resources and knowledge that they need, and ideally take that knowledge back to their countries and make their own countries better. But if they're going to stay in the United States of America, stay here. Build a great life for yourself and enjoy yourself. But don't compete and compare yourselves to us. We are not the same people. We don't have the same experience and we don't have the same history. So we don't need to be competing and comparing ourselves to each other. Each group has the responsibility to be the best that it can be for yourself, for your family, and for the country that you came from and the country that we all reside in. But if we're going to have this conversation, let's at least have it with facts, not myths, and definitely not with comparisons, because these comparisons were never equal to begin with. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about the video. Keep warm out there and have a good evening.